you're looking for positivity or looking for encouragement, Temia Brinson aims to educate you, to give you the push to believe, to have the mindset for success, mindset for success, to have the mindset for success, to have the mindset for success.
All right. Welcome to the Mindset for Success show. I'm Temia Brinson, your host, and our guest today is Dr. Judy Mandrell, and she is the CEO of Dream Builders Greatness Center, and she's also has the Real Talk with Judy radio show, and also has the Leadership Academy and the Sister Girls Network. And we also have Chad McKendrick, and he is an author, a money coach, and he has run his own financial service agency all the way since 1989. All right, so we got some experts on today. So Dr. Judy Mandrell and Chad McKendrick, welcome to the show.
Thank you so very much for having me. It's an honor to be here on the Mindset for Success TV show with you, Sister Brinson, and with you also, Coach Chad. I am looking forward to a great conversation.
Likewise, it's just great to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, so let's get into this. Our first segment here today, we're talking about building financial freedom and wealth in our communities. And, I ran across this CNBC article, and it says that when it comes to building wealth, many Black Americans are facing an uphill battle. The median annual wage for Black workers is about 30% lower than that of white workers, according to a McKinsey and Company report. And the report also found that 3.5 million of the country's Black households have a negative net worth due to debt. Okay. So to add to that, Black households generally start with less family wealth. And according to the McKinsey report, it estimated that a $330 billion disparity between Blacks and white families in the annual flow of new wealth. And it's because about 60% of that comes from inheritance. Okay, so let's discuss this information because I find this so startling. This is to both of you, but let's start off with you, Chad. How can our communities get to a place where we are leaving like inheritance? And I'm not talking about just life insurance. I'm talking about leaving an inheritance of a small business, leaving an inheritance of a debt-free home or a revenue-generating rental property, or leaving an inheritance of a monthly paying dividends, So how can we get to the point where our community, we're leaving an inheritance?
Well, you just hit them all. You just hit them all. One of the simplest ones is life insurance. When you say not just life insurance, well, that's one of the areas that most families can actually do and actually get themselves into a position that they can leave their children's children an inheritance. Because when we think of life insurance as Black people, we normally think of life insurance as burial, just to bury. But life insurance is called cash leaving to the tax-free cash you're leaving to the next generation. I don't look at life insurance like I used to look at life insurance. Life insurance is cash that I'm leaving to the next generation. Another one is real estate. Another one is intellectual property. Another one is stock. Another one is business. Now, those are the things that we can begin to invest in. And that's what I teach all of my clients to do, is to invest in those things. A lot of times we're consumers, but we don't build our net worth. We are consumers. We don't build our net worth. And when I see people say, a lot of actors because my mind is so much on in net worth. It's not funny. When I see actors or comedians or people that making a lot of money, I always say, Google, what's their net worth? And I look at the net worth. And some of their net worth is just pathetic compared to the amount of money that they're bringing in. Because what you're investing in is how you build your net worth. And those things that we just called out are how the things that you need to build your net worth. Business is easy to if I don't have a business, I can invest in a business. Meaning that mom and pop down the street got a business, and I go give mom and pop $2,000, and I say I would like to have a percentage of your business. So that means I share in the profits of that business. So I help them, and they help me. So that's called, you don't have to have a business, you can invest in a business. Then you got intellectual property. There's over 10 ways that you can make money online, that you can get income coming to you. Then there's an array of things that we can do when it comes down to net worth. We don't even have enough time today to talk about the net worth. That's the key, building your net worth.
All right. Wonderful. We get some good information. That's what I like. Okay, so what about you, Dr. Mandrell? What do you think? How can we get to the place where we are leaving an inheritance?
As Coach Chad was just talking, I too don't look at insurance like I used to. It used to be a time where insurance, especially in Black household, was mainly looked at as barrier opportunity. But as I've grown, I think one of the things, in my opinion, what I honestly believe is that we have to start educating. The scripture said that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and what we don't know could hurt us. So, Coach Chad, I saw that you are a financial planner. Well, I got one. We got a financial planner so we can learn where to invest. We had to find out what really fit us and what we wanted: mutual plans, exchange trades, annuity, the whole life with the cash insurance. I learned with the insurance, you can leave an inheritance so they can get started. But we have to teach a lot of things that, unfortunately, we were not taught as African American. We were not taught about investment and different things. So a lot of that come up now. Okay, so we and I believe that we have to surround ourselves with people who are talking about this. One of the things that I teach people as we're going through this and getting the financial investment and different things, you start with your life of integrity. Your mind has to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. A lot of things we just don't know or didn't know. Okay, so now we've learned to invest in business. Teach them how to be entrepreneurs. And I know one of the things we're going to get into is about the young age, but how do I get grandma at 70 now to look at the insurance policy and raise her investment, or granddad to learn how to lead this inheritance? How do we get this business going? We educate. Okay, and we have to put people in places of people who are talking about this, right? So we have to really, I honestly believe that we're destroyed for lack of knowledge, but we have to get our mind. Everybody's not going to start a business. So I was glad that Chad just said, okay, I can invest. But what does that mean? You know, we have to make it as simple as possible. We have a lot of people that this lady just died that I know of, and she left $500,000 to her church. $500,000. Was that an inheritance? By far. So now the church get to do some things, and the guy now has gotten the same financial planner that I had. Why? Because he learned and was better educated, right? So we have to educate us of how to do this. Get these folks in this insurance business who know this. Everybody's not going to invest in stock, but what best fit you? What is it that you want to leave? Everybody's not going to start a business. But one of the things that's important is teach them how to buy property. Mm-hmm. That's my and how to spend. how to spend. We don't have to live. We don't live in our means. We live below what we make
Right.
because we got a future plan.
Right. Exactly. Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, we're getting some good information today. This is really hot. I love it. I love it. So let me ask you too. You can't build wealth and become financially free without first understanding the basics. How important is it to practice budgeting? Let me give you an example because my personal expenses. I'm sorry, my personal experience is that, when you set up a venue, you go to a venue and you plan on doing a certain event, especially hotels, small businesses, the first thing they're going to ask you is, what's your budget? Because that salesperson know better. They probably been in the sales business for a while, so they know better to just to give you the outright prices. They would rather work with you on your budget and put you in a room for what you're looking for, that size you're looking for, and that you'll have a certain amount of people there that they can feed or what have you. So the first thing they're going to do is ask, what's your budget, to work within that, and then that's a guaranteed sale. Okay, so the same thing with the restaurants. They do the same thing, the hotels, small businesses. So this is to both of you again. How important is it to practice budgeting? Chad, let me go to you first.
Well, that's my book. My book is about a book. It's a strategy that I teach my families. It's called a 10-10-20-60. 10% of your money is to share, 10% of your money is to play, 20% of your money is for priorities and building your future, and then the 60% is what you pay and operate out of your bills. Well, I don't have to worry about quote unquote budgets because I place the money where it needs to go. Every time I get paid, I do 10-10-20-60. So I always have money to give, I always have money to play, I always have money for priorities and for my future, and I always have money to pay my bills. So I don't have to go on a budget, quote unquote, a budget, meaning that it says penny pinching. If I went to a restaurant, all I do is go into my play account. When I go to church, I go to my share account. If life happens unexpectedly, then I can go to my priority account. And then I have my bill account. So every time I get paid, I'm always replenishing. I'm doing what the scripture talked about. See, Joseph taught this concept to in Egypt. He taught them, and that's why when they had the drought, everybody had to come to them. Why? Because Joseph taught this strategy. We started in the church. We started at the 10%, but we didn't keep it going. You got to keep it going. 10, 10, 20, 60. When you do that, now you always have money. So when I'm playing, whatever's in the play account is what I play on. When my wife say, "Hey, we going to the store," I say, "Okay, go ahead. That's fine. Well, how much we got in there?" I tell her how much in there. I say, "But spend it fast, spend it slow, spend it all, ain't no more." So it helps her. It helps the whole family. So everybody knows what's in each account. Everything is already managed. So now those are the accounts that you would use. So I don't have to quote unquote penny pinch, because if I made $50,000 in 1 month, well, I already did a 10-10-20-60. So if I spend every dime that's in the 60%, I already saved. I saved before I got started. Most people cut costs to create a saving and never do.
That's good. 10, 10, 20, 60.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote that down. 10,
Yeah,
10.
every time you get paid. Every time I get $1, 10-10-20-60.
10, 10, 20, 60.
Don't we do that with God's money? We say we're gonna put 10% back for the Lord. If I made $50 million, I'm gonna do 10% to the Lord. But we stop there. See, it's not incorrect, but it's just incomplete.
Yeah, and one of the things I've learned as well, Chad, to add to you, that was real good to me. I know you didn't bring me in. I just kind of jumped in because that was good what he was saying. But yeah, because I one of the scriptures that I live by is in Luke 14:28, he said, don't begin until you count the cost. For who will begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there's enough money to finish it?
Yes.
Otherwise, you might complete only the foundation before running out of money, and then everyone would laugh at you. They would say, there's the person who started that building and couldn't afford to finish. So one of the things that I think is important to go along with what you're saying, we got to look at what we have. And so a lot of time when you say budget, it becomes a fearful word, and it make us think I'm not going to have enough money to spend, or I have to penny pinch. But in actual, because we wasn't brought up with budget, you know, our parents and our grandparents knew how to take that pie, that pie, and cut it in however many pieces it needed to be cut into. So if there were 16 people in that family, they knew how to take that pie and cut it that all 16 got an equal point. But what has happened in the coming years, Coach Chad and Sister Temia, is that now we become educated in how to slice the pie. I like the 10, 10, 20, 60. So no matter how you do it, you just start, no matter what you have. And it comes, and for us to do that, it has to be discipline. It has to be a discipline there. So we'll start off with 10, and you here go. I'm big on education, teaching us and us learning and teaching in a concept that we could understand. Because you just said, even if I had $1, so how do I take 10% of $1? That's 10 cents. Okay, now I take 10%, 20, 60. And if we can discipline ourselves to that measure, I think that would be good. But we got to count up the cost. You know, we got to learn how to do it. So how important do I think it is? I think it's important to have either a budget or a mechanism in place that would help us count the cost and stick to it. But we're going to have to be disciplined to that. And our teachers have to have patience to understand that even as Black folk, we never had a budget, not in actuality, but they knew how to make it work.
Well, you know, the strategy that I learned it from our forefathers. Grandmama used to have money in the corner and up under the bed for different purposes. They had it for different purposes. See, I learned this law is called the Parkinson's law of money. 1955, Parkinson's did a study on money and how people handle money. He said the more money we have, the more money we spend. So we spend by nature. So only way we can beat the Parkinson's law of money is we have to save immediately with a purpose. That's what Grandmama and them did. They saved, as soon as they got money, they saved immediately with a purpose. And that purpose was, well, this money's going to be for this. This is for the rent. This money is over here for this. And this money over here for this. And this money is here for this. That's why Grandma and them always had money. That's where the 10, 10, 20, 60 come from, is that you're going to always do these things. Those 10 things, functions I just told you, you're going to do them regardless. 10, you're going to share. Some people say, well, I'm not playing. You're not playing right now, but you're going to buy something for yourself eventually. One day you're going to buy something for yourself. So you need to put money aside for playing. And then you put aside money for priority. Why we say priority? Priority means that your brain will say, I can't touch that money, priority money to go to Burger King. I can't touch that priority money to go shopping because it's for priority. See, you have to program yourself. You discipline yourself by what you label your money. See, money without a purpose leaves your hands quickly. Money without a purpose leaves your hand quickly. As fast, easy come, easy go. And I like to say the fool and his money will soon part ways. That's why I hate to see them boys talking about something, let's make it rain. Fool.
Oh my goodness. Lord, we getting a wealth of knowledge and an appeal to the comedy side. Lord Jesus.
And I think it's important that we take this to our community, and it may have to start small. because sometimes honestly people just don't know. And if they know, they say, well, I'm going to die with my money. I'm going to spend it now. I may not have the 10 to do it tomorrow. And I don't look at, I look at that as unlearned.
Yes.
Right? As unlearned. I look at those, why buy a pair of Jordans when they're going to take all my money?
Come on.
Just wait a minute. But it has to be taught, because what happened to Mia and Chad is that those are priorities to people. Though that Jordan is a priority to people. And so we have to teach it in a way that they understand the value of tomorrow.
I like
Wow.
I like to say I used to the reason I wrote the book is because I used to be one that I love the Lord, and I expect the best. I walk by faith. I believe God, and so I always expect the best. But I messed up one area. In one area, you got to plan for the worst and expect the best. I just expected the best. So when the worst happened, then it was like money going out the back door, because I wasn't planning for the worst. See, planning for the worst means that you save money. See, I always say if you save money, money will save you. But if you don't save no money, money can't save you. So you got to plan for the worst and expect the best. So that's what the 10-10-20-60 does, is planning for the worst so we can expect the best. Because God got the best for you. But see, the best don't just come. You ain't going to have, my grandma used to say, every day ain't howdy, howdy. That's when you get to heaven.
Okay. All right. Awesome stuff. I love it. Okay. So let's move on, because we talked about inheritance and we talked about establishing a budget. So let's move on to wealth in the community now. How important is it to keep wealth within our community? Because it's a study by the Civic Center for Economic Growth. I hope I'm saying that right. Civic Center for Economic Growth found that money circulates one time in the African American community, 6 times in the Latino community, and 9 times in the Asian community. And in white neighborhoods, money circulates nearly an unlimited number of times. So how important is it to keep the wealth in our community? So let me go ahead and play this clip, though, before you two answer. And then we're going to watch this. And then I want your thoughts afterwards.
Recently, we've seen protesters march to improve police relations in the Black Lives Matter movement.
We're trying to encourage people to open up accounts with a black bank.
One United Bank president, Terry Williams, would like to see activists join the movement to create more financial stabilities in black communities.
We spend more than some whole countries spend, but we don't spend that money in our community, which means that we're not building wealth in our community.
So Williams started a movement called Bank Black. As the leader of the largest black-owned bank in the country, one located in Miami's Liberty City neighborhood, she is challenging everyone to open an account in a black-owned bank.
Really? That's good.
College student Taylor Altador is opening a checking account.
I think it's really important because if we don't support our own, if we don't support ourselves, then it's becoming evident that no one else is going to support us as much as we can do ourselves, especially our black churches, our black businesses, our black schools, our black professionals.
Williams promises that One United fees are lower and the rate of return are higher. But the most important mission to her is educating customers about how to grow wealth.
So we really tailor our products to the needs of our community. And we also focus on home ownership. The biggest difference between black and white wealth is home equity, how much equity someone has in their home.
All right. So let me get your thoughts from both of you, because I want to know, this is something that I've been pondering on for the past 5 years. Okay. So how important is it to keep wealth within our community? Because, this is one of the ways how we can build our own community and also create jobs and opportunities within our own community. So let me go to you, Chad. How do you feel about that? How important is it to keep wealth within our own community?
Well, we have to remember the first step is we got to understand who is our community. Remember when Jesus, I think it was the Pharisees want to challenge Jesus and say, well, who is our neighbor? Well, who is our community? Our community is African American descent. So if I live in a real rich community, but I have a business, that's my community. That's your community. It doesn't matter what we try to do. Is we try to focus on the area. Cause see, my office is in Eatonville, so we are focused on the area. And in the area in Eatonville, we don't have no grocery stores. We don't have nothing in Eatonville. So how can I invest in if I think of community, I'm thinking about, well, how can I invest in my community? We don't have anything in my community. Well, we got to begin to look at community, mean African descent people that have businesses. That might be downtown, but he's an African American. Like we got Mr. Black that sells Mercedes Benz. He's an African American. I'm gonna go to buy my Mercedes Benz from him. Where's his? It's in Millennial. It's not in Eatonville. It's in Millennial. Millennial is a beautiful, rich place that people buy stuff. But he's an African American, so I'm gonna purchase from him. That's what we have to get to. A lot of times we say, well, we're going to invest in our community. Well, if you build your wealth, now you can begin to change your community and begin to put businesses in our community as well. So I'm not saying don't do it in our community, but we can't get stuck in just saying, okay, well, we don't have it in our community, so I'm going to go over here and buy my Mercedes from John Doe. But he's not African American, but we don't have that in Eatonville, so I'm gonna go buy it from him. Well, we do have some black folk that do that too. We have black folk that do stuff everywhere.
Yeah. So you came back and you touched on something after you said it. Then you came back and said it. One of the things I do here in Tallahassee, and that we're working on real hard here in Tallahassee, is to upbuild this black community. Mm-hmm. We want Mercedes dealership in the black community. We want grocery stores in the black community. We don't want the only thing in the black community to be the liquor stores and the pawn shop. It speaks to the mentality of the people. People become what they see often.
We will continue with our discussion next week.
You have the mindset for success. If you're looking for positivity,